Well, glorious Friday, friends. Glorious Friday. I am pretty freaking stoked about this Friday. So, what's different about this Friday from all the other Fridays? I'm glad you asked, friends. I'm going to tell you. Father's Day's coming up, and I have got four beautiful kids that I'm super proud to be able to kind of help mold, mentor, lead, guide, and direct in this crazy world that we live in. So, Father's Day weekend's coming up, and I'm pretty freaking excited about it because I've got some things coming up that I've worked real hard for. I put a lot of energy and a lot of effort into. And friends, if you can relate to that, trying to work towards a common goal, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you finally start to see those fruits of your labor show up, hey, good times, good times, good times. So, my friends, I'm going to be quoting from a man that you guys may or may not have ever heard of. His name is Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln. So, guys, tonight's message is titled Discipline is a Choice. Discipline is a choice. And we can choose because that's kind of how the way that God created us. We've got free will. If you guys are on live, do me a favor, fringe, hashtag live. If you're watching it on the replay, do the same hashtag replay. I'd kind of like to give everybody a little bit of love, a little bit of a shout out, and a thank you for being a part of the Distinctly Extraordinary Society. So, guys, for those of you who don't know, this is Coach B, and I'm your chaos coordinator here in the Distinctly Extraordinary Coaching channel, and we are discussing discipline is a choice. So Abraham Lincoln says, discipline is choosing between what you want right, meow. That's right, meow. What you want right now and what you want the most. So the picture that I used for today's live was where I was slouched over one of the benches here in my gym where I had just finished up it was just a brutal hero workout, but I was honored to be able to do it. I'm wearing my team red, white, and blue shirt because I'm all for doing things for veterans. And the discussion tonight is about discipline and it being a choice. And I chose to join the military. I had a really bad motorcycle accident right before we were supposed to deploy to Iraq. I was a young man and I didn't necessarily make the best choices as a young man. My parents did the best they could to raise me right, but I was just a little hellion, to be perfectly honest. And I really wanted a motorcycle. I'm an adrenaline junkie. For any of those who know me, know, woo, woo, yeah. I'm all about the high energy, the stuff that just really gets your blood pumping. Well, on the way home from work one night, I hit a pack of dogs. I wasn't doing anything stupid on the motorcycle. I wasn't flying or doing anything crazy like most people do on sport bikes. It was actually very foggy and I could barely see. The speed limit's like 65 and I was doing 30. It was so foggy, I just could not see. And that's kind of where this story's going, not being able to see. Because, guys, clarity will make a world of difference in our life. Do me a favor, put that in the chat. Clarity. It's a game changer. Being able to see is a game changer. But the desire to seek immediate gratification from something is pretty appealing. I wanted that shiny motorcycle so people would be like, dang, look at that guy on that sweet, shiny sport bike. I wanted the immediate gratification. However, sometimes that immediate gratification drives us to do things that we probably should or should not be doing. I honestly had no business being on that motorcycle because I didn't even have a motorcycle license yet. I was planning to take the test that morning. So I took the motorcycle to work to get comfortable with the motorcycle, so that I would not mess up on the test in the morning because I was working night shift at the time. I took the comfortable choice. I chose to go test drive the motorcycle, and make the mistakes when no one was around and no one could judge me. I took the safer option. But the safer option actually ended up compromising me in more ways than one. Well, I hit the pack of dogs on the way home. Problem number one. I had no business being on that motorcycle because I didn't have a motorcycle license. I didn't have motorcycle insurance. Problem number one. Problem number two, I wrecked the motorcycle, even though I was being extremely cautious and extremely careful. I didn't have clarity. I couldn't see real well because of the fog. Problem number three, had no business on the bike, wrecked the bike, and completely obliterated my left shoulder. I mean, messed it up bad. Road rash, completely just destroyed every bone in this shoulder because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to ride the motorcycle. I didn't know how to properly lay a motorcycle down because I didn't go through the motorcycle safety course. But I wasn't disciplined enough to wait. I chose to hop on that bad boy and let her rip tater chip. That's what Todd says all the time, and it's freaking hilarious because it's what I say in my class. Right before we start a workout, I'm like, 3, 2, 1, let her rip. Let her rip. Problem number 3. Crashing a vehicle requires a police report. So what I did is I thought I would be a slick young man and go home with a wrecked motorcycle and a completely demolished arm that I just flopped it up there on the handlebar and rode home. Got home and ended up having to go to the emergency room because it was bad. It was bad. Little did I know, when you go to the emergency room and they ask why you're there, and it is a vehicle-related incident, they call the cops. Problem number 4. They've got me doped up so much I can't think straight, see straight, or talk clearly because they're trying to scrub gravel and asphalt out of my shoulder and my elbow and my hands because I wasn't wearing the proper gear. I didn't have a riding jacket on. I didn't have gloves on. I was not disciplined enough to put on the proper safety gear. And the police officer shows up and starts asking, where's my identification? I'm like, well, and he kind of figures what I'm trying to say there. It's like, it's in my wallet, and I kind of point to the corner where the nurses had put all my personal effects. And he notices that there is not a motorcycle endorsement on my license. So then he asks, for the registration and all of that mess, which I had. However, there's no insurance. Problem number 5. No driver's license, no insurance, and I left the scene of an accident. Oh, man. This lack of discipline is really, really weighing against me at this point. I learned a very valuable lesson from that moment in my life. But that caused another issue. I am now medically unable to deploy with my unit to Iraq because of my injury. Now, I'm going to say God allowed the stars to align, and our deployment got pushed back about 6 months. We were supposed to be the very first initial wave into Iraq, and we ended up being like the second wave. So we left for Iraq in January of 2004. But it was just enough time for me to rehab my arm. They basically said I'd never be able to use my arm again. The military was going to medically discharge me, but I was so determined on what I wanted the most out of life, which was to serve my country. I chose to not take the comfortable way out this time. I chose to follow the hard road. I chose to be disciplined. I chose to stick to my goals and set out what I longed to do from a young man and be in the military. Be a solution to the problem. Because September 11 is what drove me to want to be in the military. But thanks to the military, they forced me to be in very uncomfortable positions quite often. They forced me to focus on discipline. They forced me to never, ever compromise on my morals. And I'm so thankful for it. They've taught me a lot of skills that I have now been able to use in my business, in my life, in my ability to coach my children, to coach my athletes. Because emotions and conditions can absolutely 100% tempt us. That nice and shiny motorcycle, oh man, that thing was tempting me. I couldn't wait till in the morning. And I should have. Would have saved me a lot of pain and discomfort. My shoulder would probably be intact today. Would have saved me a lot of money. Would have saved me my first trip to court. I'm going to say it's not my last trip to court. I learned from that one, though. Clarity. I asked you guys if you were on live to hashtag live. If you're watching this on the replay, hashtag replay. And I said, drop clarity in the comments, because clarity is not what I had when I was a young man. It's what I've got now. It is now something that I pride myself on, because I've hired coaches, I've hired mentors, because I have learned that clarity is what allows us to make the best use of our time. Having clarity allows me to be very disciplined on an action plan that I can follow that is going to get me to where I need and where I want to go in life. Because emotions and conditions can tempt us. Where our discipline can see the temptations for what they are, and then we can make the right decisions. Because I'm now disciplined in my personal development. I'm disciplined in my nutrition. I'm disciplined in my exercise routine. I'm disciplined in my mobility. This arm, it works and functions just like the other one because of the discipline that I have placed in my health and wellness, in my mindset. And guys, I want you to learn and understand that discipline is a choice and not everybody embraces it because it is uncomfortable most of the time to be disciplined. It's a skill that has to be learned. It has to be sharpened. It has to be honed. It's something you've got to practice. There's been too many times over the course of my life that this critical component of success was missing. However, this is what this channel is for, friends. I wasted 23 years of my life, and I want you to be able to gain those 23 years back from my epic mistakes, my epic failures. Don't let this critical component of success fall to the wayside. Discipline is a choice. What your emotions drive you towards today may very well be the thing that you want the most. It may be the very thing that you need the least. It may be the thing that directly hinders you from reaching success. Because emotions can be very tricky. So normally when I'm coaching people and we're discussing health and wellness, whether this is food, whether this is exercise, whether this is mindset, whether this is mobility, I can't say, how do you feel today? Because it's not objective, it's subjective. How you feel can change from moment to moment. So we can't let emotions be the thing that drives us. We can't let feelings be in the driver's seat. We have to question our emotions. Are you hungry? Or is that thirst? Because hunger and thirst cues come from the very same place in your brain. And we can't distinguish the two unless we are disciplined enough in knowing what is the difference between a hunger cue and a thirst cue. What is your mind actually trying to tell you? I want us to practice discipline, hone this skill, because discipline is something you have to choose. You have to purposely, intentionally decide that you're going to be disciplined in your walk. You're going to be disciplined in your journey. Whether this is health or wealth, it doesn't matter. You know, I've got business mentors and I have to be disciplined to follow the plan that they give me. I have to trust that the guidance that they're giving me is actually going to lead me to where I want to go. Your health is no different. If I'm your health and wellness coach and I tell you that the problem with our journey is you're not eating enough, you have to trust that this is exactly what you need, and you have to be disciplined enough to follow that guidance and follow through on it. Because you have to pick, which one do you want more? To be comfortable, stagnant, stationary, or uncomfortable and making progress? Friends, I want to say thank you for being a part of the Distinctly Extraordinary Society. it is an honor. It is a true honor and privilege to be here with you. Guys, this is your Chaos Coordinator, Coach B, signing off with another tip. Until next time, my friends, we will see you again in a distinctly extraordinary society. Until next time, peace out.